Welcome to the Creative Mind podcast. My name is Maike Döhling. I'm your host, and I'm very excited to introduce my new guest today, which is Sanne-Samina Hanssen, and she's an actress from the Netherlands. I don't know much about her, but my lovely friend Anna connected us, and what I found about you, Sanne, is just caught my interest. So let's dive into this conversation. I'm grateful to have you here today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm also grateful to be here.
Very exciting. So how do you feel today?
How do I feel right now? I feel curious. I also feel a bit, I'm in, my best friend has a drum room in the back of his garden, and that's where I am right now. So I'm like surrounded by drum equipment. So I also feel a bit inhibited, like where am I? And I also feel open. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I love drums. It feels like a good space where you are.
Okay, good.
So tell me, where are you at the moment? And what are you doing?
So in this moment right now, I'm visiting my best friend. He lives in Tilburg, which is in the south of the Netherlands. And in this summer, I'm spending time in the Netherlands because I'm filming a series. And after that, I'm filming a movie. So until October, I'm in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Nice. So you already said it, and I also already said it. You're an actress. I think you're also a singer, when I read that correctly. So for me, what I found on the internet really caught my interest, because I thought you're an artist for me, like just what I see and how you express yourself. So take us a little bit in your creative path. How did all of that start?
Wow, that's a great question. I remember when I was in this age of people asking you, oh, so what do you want to be when you grow up? Not when you're a child, but when you're like adolescent, like teenager. And I remember thinking, like, I don't know, I would like to do everything. And there was this photographer, I saw her work, and she made this collection of pictures where she was imagining herself having a different life. So she made a picture in different family constellations, like what if my life had gone this way, and I live in Afghanistan with 6 kids and 5 goats and a husband, or what if I live in New York and I'm single. And was this whole collection of pictures, and I remember, like, wow, what if that could really be your life, so there was this essence of wanting to discover a lot. And so I tried a lot of different things. And then I kind of accidentally, a roommate when I was 18 took me to like college student theater. And then I felt like, oh, I would love to do this every day.
Oh,
And that's how it started. Yeah.
nice. And then how did all of this continue? Did you go to acting school then, or how did it develop?
At first, I went to a school to become a teacher of actors, and I tried it for a year, and then all I liked was the acting classes, so that didn't really work out. And then I auditioned for a series because everyone in my class was part of this casting agency, and people were like, yeah, you should also like put your name in there. I was like, okay, I can do it. And then there was this casting, and it was for a children's series, and I got the part. So I stopped studying at that point, and I did that for 2 years. And then I decided, okay, I want to go to an actual theater school and study acting. And so then I quit the series, and I went to acting school in Maastricht.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you said you first taught acting. So what did it make you feel, okay, I can teach acting, but why didn't you go immediately into, well, I'm an actress? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. And it was circumstantial because the student theater that I was participating in, the people that were teaching there, they were in the school of becoming a teacher, and they said, wow, this is really something for you, you should audition. And I'm from a very small village where 700 people live there. So in my wildest imagination, I didn't even know that one could become an actress. Like it was an abstract idea to me. So I just followed the steps that were handed to me in that time. That's why.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And were there also a moment where you realized, okay, this is it now? Like, this is my path, becoming an actress? Or, yeah.
Um, definitely. Definitely when I was in the children's series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you say it like that, but a series for children.
Yeah.
And then we were filming every day, and yeah, I remember having this feeling like this is really my thing. I'm good at this, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to master this instrument, you know, like my body, my voice, my expression. Yeah.
Nice. Master this instrument. We will come back to this later. So, I don't know how old you are, but I think you have gone quite a path now as an actress. So, were there ups and downs? Did you have doubts, or was it always an easy path for you? How did that go?
There have definitely been ups and downs. It has definitely been easy and very difficult. So all of it. And I think the most interesting thing to share about that is that for 10 years, it was like straight ahead, like, you know, full power and going and studying and doing internships and then working and getting parts in movies and series and saying yes to everything that I felt like would give me energy. And then at some point, I think this was 3 years ago. No, it was already 4 years ago when I woke up one morning, and usually I'm very like lighthearted and optimistic and cheerful is how I feel. And I woke up and I felt like I didn't know what was happening. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna put on some music, and you know, it's gonna fade, this feeling. And it didn't fade. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna make an amazing smoothie bowl, and then I'm gonna feel better. No, didn't work. I drove to the film set. I thought, you know, I'm gonna see people, and you know, it's gonna shift during the day, and it didn't shift, and it kept going. This very heavy, dark feeling. Not that there's anything wrong with it, and I dove deep into the dark feelings in the past 3 years, but at that point, for me, it was very uncomfortable. I was like, what's going on? And after 2 days, I called my two best friends and I said, I want to share something. I don't know what's happening. And they both gave me the reflection, don't you think you're working too much?
Ooh.
And yeah, and I was like, yeah, maybe that's true. And so then I started looking at that, and actually before COVID started, I decided to stop working for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started again, and then again I felt like, okay, no, I'm starting this, but it's not wholeheartedly. And I really made a decision at some point. I'm gonna stop for a year to create space, and not knowing what would come, but I felt in my heart that I needed to create space. Yeah. And then I had these mind fucks, because then also my path started with tantra and shamanism and plant medicine and all of these things. And I got into a mind fuck that was like, okay, I have to choose. It's either this or that.
Yeah.
Which obviously is not true, but I had to go through this journey of exploring that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's very interesting, because I think a lot of actors have this to think, if I choose another path, that may be the end of my acting career. So how was that? How did you find the path, or how can I express this? What made it for you that both paths felt right, that you said, no, it's both of it? What changed in your mind?
What changed in my perception is that my practice right now is really to follow my joy, even when I feel fear. So, for example, what that looks like is 2 months ago, I was in Portugal. I was in a community in Tamara. I don't know if you know Tamara. It's a really beautiful peace research center and community, and I was there having a wonderful time. And I got an invitation to do a series, and I looked at the dates, and I was supposed to not be in Portugal anymore, and I had an opening, so I told my agent, yeah, sure. I mean, I'd like to read it, and then I would be open. And then all of a sudden they said, okay, but you have to come audition next week. And so the old me would have said, okay, yeah, like, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to fly to the Netherlands, this like thrill of, and what I do now is like, no, my priorities here. I feel good here. I'm with community, with friends, and I choose not to go. And if they really want me, if this really, that's actually not, those are not the right words. If it's really for me, this thing, it will come to me. Even if other people go audition and then it's for someone else, if someone else gets it. And then I actually got it. So now I'm filming it, and it's beautiful. So this is how I try to trust. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a nice example. Also, when you decided to take the break for a year, or at least it was longer, how did your agent react on that, or the people around you?
My agent was really amazing, actually. I was really scared because actually I decided to stop for a year, and then I got an invitation for an international Netflix series. And then my ego was like, I can just go audition and I will not get it anyway. So I went, and then of course I got it. And then I got really sick. I had this like there was this kind of stone in my stomach and in my throat for 2 weeks, and my mind created all kinds of stories like, okay, maybe I have like bronchitis, or I don't know what, and I didn't figure it out. And then I did a ceremony with a friend, LSD ceremony. And after an hour, when it kicked in, I saw like, I cannot do this series. It's impossible. I cannot do it. And I had a big release, and I was crying, and I called my agent actually after the ceremony, and she said, I already knew. I was waiting for your call, and I'm so happy that you're following your heart. Yeah. And she asked me, would you like me to share it with the director, or do you want to call yourself? Yeah, she's really amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is already so inspiring. Thank you for sharing. I think it's very, because what you just told us are exactly the fears a lot of my clients and of the acting community has. What if I stop? What if I say no to something? It's all what you just shared, and it was just such a beautiful example that it works, and that it's worth to follow. your intuition and your heart. Yeah. So when I looked at your CV, like what you did, series and stuff like that, it looks from the casting perspective like you're very successful. But of course, success is more than what you see written on the internet. So my question is, what was the most successful project, or what was the biggest success for you personally in your career?
Right. Well, it depends how we define success, because for example, there is a series that I don't really have a big part in. It's a beautiful part, and I enjoyed a lot creating this role, and it got me the most attention because it was a famous series. So that could be an answer. Another answer could be we did a theater play called Angels in America, and I won a prize for it, which is also kind of could be. But for me, my biggest success is actually what I'm doing now, which is I'm training for a movie because I'm gonna play an athlete in the summer. And so it's a role that I could have only dreamt of, and I've been preparing for the last month, and I'm gonna prepare for another 7 weeks, and then we're gonna shoot in the summer. So this is for me really a dream come true. And of course, I don't know what's going to happen when we shoot, but it feels really good with the director and the story. And it's actually two worlds coming together, because it's about the animal body, it's about sexuality, and it's my job, like acting. So it's a merging of worlds. So for me, that's like, I am very excited about it.
Yeah, that sounds like, I always, in my acting career, which is a long time ago, but that has always been my dream, to play an athlete.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You look really strong. Also, I don't see your whole body, but your arms look like...
Yeah, I'm doing triathlon. So, I have always been, I did heptathlon when I was younger, in my youth. And then later when I came here to the island, I started with swimming, and then I got into triathlon. So yes, I'm in the middle of a training period.
Wow.
Yeah. So what kind of athlete do you play in this? What character is it?
She's a long distance swimmer, and she's gonna cross the canal from England to France.
Wow, that's so interesting. I feel very connected to this character as well now, because I told you about swimming, and I did the Travesía de Lobos, which is from the neighbor island to Fuerteventura. I did this 2 times. Yeah, it's 3 kilometers. It's not so long like the canal to England, but
still.
Yeah, it was a challenge. Yes, and I was proud when I did it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So, yeah, how would you define this success? That the success is already that you have this role, and that you can that you can do it?
For me, the success is about me owning these 2 paths that I'm walking simultaneously, and then now they're meeting. So for me, that is success in a way, because for a long time I was I had this story that they couldn't, it's either this or this, and then okay, it can be both, but not at the same time, because I have to do then this and then this, and now it's merging. So for me, that's success, because it's the melting of 2 passions.
Yeah, that's that resonates with me. So tell us a little bit about this other passion you have for, you said shamanism, tantra, embodiment. How did that develop?
Well, if you're an actress too, you know that acting is all about, embodiment and finding, these hidden feelings of, you know, this feeling of reading a part and you're like, wow, that's not me. Maybe I can play it, maybe I can't, but it's definitely not me. And then when you start playing it, you discover, oh, but wait a minute, that's also me. I have this part in me. And of course, this is also tantra, which is that, we're everything and we're nothing. And so when I came into contact with these teachings, which was for the first time through ISTA, International School of Temple Arts, I felt like I had this plateau that I reached with acting, accessing the emotional body and the energetic body. And then I came across tantra and I was like, oh, but wait, there's, not that it's higher, but there's another space to explore. Yeah. And I had no idea. And I fell in love, like I fell in love with acting. I fell in love again. I was like, why? I didn't know it existed. Oh. So, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Was that also in that phase where you stopped with acting for a while, or?
Actually, that was the trigger that made me, that made me realize, okay, it's not just this that I want to explore in this body, in this life, this time around. Yeah. There's more.
Yeah, but it's so beautiful that you fell in love with acting through that again. I like that.
Yeah.
So my friend who connected us, she said, Sanne is also into, or we met on an embodiment retreat, if I understood that right. So what does embodiment mean for you? What is it?
For me, it means to be in the body. And it sounds very simple, but actually it's the hardest thing we can do, because we spend so much time in the mind, like sometimes our whole existence is happening right here. And we have a whole, package that is trying to communicate with us in every second. And so for me, it's about that, about the courage to listen to the body, the courage to be authentic when the body wants to speak, even though maybe it's, it's socially inappropriate, because there are so many, rules or expectations, especially for women, how to behave or how to sit, how to speak, how, like we're supposed to, it's all changing now, but just to give an example, there, and it's so, there's so many layers and it's so nuanced. So for me, it's about the courage to be in the body, to be authentically in the body, to not be afraid to express it. And I'm not saying, like that you should be socially inappropriate, but if you feel something in your body is trying to communicate something and you feel you cannot express it in a space, to go out and to allow it to exist. Because every time I tell my body, well, no, not now, because it's not welcome, I'm actually telling myself it's not true or it's not important. And it's just going to build and build and build. So that for me is embodiment, is the listening and the allowing.
Wow. The courage to be in the body. What does that mean?
For example, for me, it means, okay, I'm going to take an example of the last 2 weeks, because it's easy. So the last 2 weeks, I'm feeling a lot of tension here. Here. And then sometimes I also feel like a knife is poking here in my heart, right? So what my mind does, because of all the conditioning, is what could this be? Start thinking, what could it be? Well, actually, if I sit and I breathe into it, I can actually discover a texture of sadness. And then to allow it to come out. And then what my mind does is, okay, so now it's out. Now it's going to be okay. We can continue again. Of course, it doesn't work like that, because it's been for 2 weeks and it's still, you know, this morning I woke up and I was still, again, I felt like, you know, and so I intentionally create space to sit with what's happening and trying not to listen to my mind, because my mind knows it doesn't, but really to listen and to allow it to move, because there's wisdom there. It's trying to tell me something. Yeah.
I just remember the interview I had with Anna about embodiment, and it just came back to my mind now that she also was talking about that we create space and then follow whatever our body wants to do or how he wants to move. And I think that's why I asked also, what does it mean to have the courage to be in the body? Because I feel like that is also my story, that me in my life, and also when I think back to my acting time, I was always holding back because I wanted to control something. And I think the courage to be in the body for me means to break free and to let the things out, even if I cannot control it anymore. Yeah.
And how do you do that?
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about, I mean, I grew up, my movement through all my life was through sports. But that is also a very sometimes controlled, and I know what to do and I know how to do it and I know how to train. So it's a very male energy, I would say. So what is still my challenge is to, for example, when I was younger, I couldn't dance. When I was on the dance floor, I had to drink alcohol or anything to be free to dance. And that is something I'm still practicing, like to dance. Just even if it's for 5 minutes, that feels for me like I can move my body in a way which is not, people tell me how to do it. And that is for me it always changes my state or my energy. And that's, yeah, I think dancing, that's still my biggest challenge, but also the thing which frees me. Yeah. So, yeah, what do I want to ask? You know, I watched some videos of you, like your show reel and everything, and I thought, like, you are, for me, a person who succeeds in not holding back, like to spread her beautiful energy and to just do what comes out of her. Because I think, I don't know if I told you, I also worked in casting for a while, and I think,
didn't know.
No, you didn't know. And when I saw your picture, it was immediately like, okay, she's got something. So are you aware of that, or can you explain what that is, or is it just being you?
So for me, these are two questions, no? Like, is it true what you're projecting on me, that I can let go and I can spread my energy?
Yes.
And then there's this, oh, are you aware of the fact that you got something? Right?
Yeah, it's more, do you do something special for that? Do you do something, or is it just being you?
No, it's just, actually, it's not being me, because it's getting out of the way. this is also where the spiritual practice comes together with the acting, which is, you know, who am I? In my practice, I practice to realize that I am consciousness, I am love. I am not this whole idea that I am a person, a persona, Sanna, who is a woman, you know, who's 34 years old, who has likes and dislikes, which is all true, you know, I'm not denying it, but I'm trying to play with it. I'm not trying not to take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was my other question? I have so many questions now. Okay, the next question is, because you said the spiritual practice comes in here. How do you use your spiritual practice, or also the embodiment practice, for you as an actress or for your creative work?
Well, I think I feel in lots of ways. The first thing that comes is to not take it personally when you get rejected. It's like, yeah, it's because it's a big thing for actors. You go casting and then you don't get it. It happens more often this way than the other way around. I truly trust the universe. So if something doesn't happen, whether it's in work or in my personal life or in my love life, I trust. I'm not saying it's easy, but I trust that it's not for me.
Yeah.
Because there's something else. So this is the first thing. The other thing is a layer of shame disappeared for me when I dropped deeper into the spiritual practice and also into the tantric practices, because, you know, I wonder if you resonate with this, but as an actor, it's a very interesting profession because it's all about you. But a lot of actors actually have, in my experience, also a part that's like, well, I don't want it to be all about me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and or you have to play a certain part, and there's a kind of self-consciousness about, oh, maybe people think that I'm like this, or, you know, there's so many layers. So it helped also with the shame or the projections that people have on you. Like, I don't care. I can see my body as a vessel, as an instrument for my job, which is an actress and a singer, but also for love, and, you know, and also for my friendships, also for becoming a mother. You know, for me, it's all the same thing. So that's where it also comes in. And where it also comes in is the acceptance of the fact that, because I told you about the mind fuck, right? That I was like, okay, I have to choose now. And then someone told me at some point, I think it was one of my teachers, said, like, okay, you know, we come into these bodies and we have certain talents. And if you're gifted with a talent, you know, you shouldn't keep it to yourself. What are you thinking? Why it's a gift. A gift, you don't keep a gift to yourself. A gift you share. And so this also changed my perspective, because I was like, okay, so I got this, you know, this tool package. So how do I use it? And I'm not saying that I know now. I'm just saying, okay, so apparently I'm incarnated into this body. It can do this, this, and this. I have an amazing talent for acting. So, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to follow the path that with the things that present themselves to me and find out why I'm here.
Oh, wow. Yes. Very interesting what you just said. This morning, I just had a conversation with one singer and one actress, and it was also about what you just said about the masks because one of them was telling that she has been successful as an actress, and at some point her body told her that it's too much, that she got sick and everything, and then she couldn't hold the mask anymore, you know. She didn't fit in what people saw in her anymore for years. And then yeah, she stopped with acting, and I think this morning there was something coming back, like, oh, what if this was not the end? So, but how do I present myself then? Because I'm not the old actress anymore, or the one which I have been for a long time. And then the conversation went to, why do we always think we have to fit in this industry into anything, whatever it is? Like, a lot of actors think they have to fit in a certain category, or they have to be like in a certain way. And then the result of both of them was like, no, I would just want to be me and to express what comes out of my soul. And then I said, yeah, but that's the most interesting thing you said now, you know. And that's also like what you just shared, I think.
Yeah, because this is also the most attractive thing,
yeah,
I feel, in whether it's in acting, or also when we talk about love. You know, if I am myself, is the most authentic expression of myself, that's the most attractive thing for me to be. Because otherwise there's a layer of pretending, and everyone can feel it, you know. And also, why would I pretend to be something that I'm not? And then it's very it's so interesting, because even, you know, even I had this period where I broke through this, like, okay, you know, I should be a certain way, and then I became I got the projection of oh, the free-spirited actress who lives in a camper van, who has an open relationship, you know. And I became and who does tantra, and I became this. And then I noticed myself, like, oh, and now I'm identifying with the one who's different, which again is a role, you know.
Yeah.
But we're all everything. And maybe at 3 o'clock in the afternoon I'm this, and at 5 o'clock I'm a completely different archetype, because energy is shifting and moving through. Yeah, but it's so easy for us to be like.
Yeah, totally. It's so funny. Also, another interview guest said to me lately, we were also talking about characteristics, and she saw me, and I had another background, and then she said, you could be this and you could be that, and also I think you're a creative person, and also you are esoteric. I don't know if it's the same word in English. And that I could totally understand what she meant, but in that moment it triggered me a little bit, because I thought, oh, am I esoteric? Do I seem to be like that? And then I didn't want to be like that. And it's so interesting. I mean, every person projects something else on us. So yeah. But one interesting thing, you said there was a layer of shame you took away, or that disappeared. Let's talk about shame. What was that?
I think there could be a lot of explanations for it, but I think deep down the root of shame, it has to do with our sexuality. And I had a teacher in theater school, and he used to he passed now. He used to say, everything is about sex. Every scene is about sex. Of course, that's not true, but there's truth in it. And I feel, because a lot of the work I did was around sexuality and sexual energy, and exploring that and reclaiming that, and like taking like exploring the layers of shame and trauma that were there, freed so much energy that this more subtle layers of shame that were built on top of that, they just fell away. Yeah.
And also you said that you dealt with this topic through tantra. What is tantra? Because I think a lot of people don't really know.
Such an amazing question, because I think everyone you're going to ask this question is going to answer something different. Yeah. And that is also the essence of it. So that's the beautiful thing. So today for me, tantra is saying yes to everything that arises in me. Yeah. So the acceptance of the energies, of the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the acceptance of it, then the actual experiencing of it and allowing it, but also the observing it. So it's all of it. So so allowing it to be there, but not identifying with it, so that it can move through.
Wow. And okay, yeah. So what could be the practice to practice that?
Well, so many things, but well, a simple thing that I learned from one of my teachers is, she calls it Shakti meditation, which is very simple, where one closes their eyes and start breathing into the belly and in through the nose and out through the mouth with sound. And you start scanning the body, and you name, I feel a tingling sensation in my stomach area. And then I breathe in. And then I scan the next thing. That's, for example, a simple practice that in a very effective and fast way connects one with their bodies and with what is actually going on that we're not aware of when we're in the monkey mind, thinking of, if I want a coffee or what time I need to go or.
So how do we bring this also to our everyday life? Because yes, it is easy to do that in a meditation, but how can we also let all this come through when we are with other people or in our life?
Yeah, for me, my biggest, it's 24 hours a day, but for me, the most interesting way to study and to practice is in relationship. Is for example, a few weeks ago, I re-met a lover that I had a love affair with 7 years ago, and we re-met, and there was immediately in me a fire, was like, and everything in the body was lit, and I felt desire and love and all of it, and so I was feeling all of it, and my mind was like, this is ridiculous. You didn't see this person for 7 years. Now you saw him for one night, and this is happening. And then another voice is like, yes, but I'm in love. I feel it. I'm in love. And so the practice that I did in that moment was allowing to feel all of it, everything, with the voice that says, this is ridiculous, this is not true, this is just maybe for a week and then it's going to disappear again. This is unreliable. This, all of these thoughts. Okay, they're coming. I hear them. Thank you. And I'm also feeling all of it. Then I own it and I'm transparent. I tell this person, listen, this is what I'm sitting with. This is what I'm feeling. All of this I'm feeling. And then the next step is saying, and I know this is probably not about you because it's very intense. And this is probably something that's alive in me and is moving through. So I'm also observing all of it, but I'm also enjoying it. I'm just trying not to identify with it and being like, so you're the one and now we have to be together. You know, what would have happened in the past? I would have been like, yes, no, okay, this is it. You know?
Yeah. I like it. It's about not to identify with it. That's a big task for me as well. And so, you said, or you told us now already that you have a spiritual practice, tantra embodiment, shamanic practice. Can you say something about the shamanic? What do you do there? Shamanic work.
It's such a it's all for me. It's always so interesting to answer these questions because for example, shamanism for me is a realm that we get into where the words disappear. So it's a nice challenge to try to like find words for this to explain this. But for me, an artist is also a shaman.
Yes, totally agree.
Because we as artists, we work with the energies that are around, that are in us, that are in other people, that are in stories, in myths, in colors, in images, in music. You know, it's all energy, and we take it and we alchemize and we express.
Yes.
For me, a shaman is someone who moves through different layers of density and you know, realms or energies, whatever you want to call it. So an artist for me is also that.
Yes. It's so nice that you say that. I don't remember who it was, but I was listening to an interview lately, and the person, it was a guy, said exactly the same. He said, for him, the true shamans are artists, or the other way around. But you know what I mean? Artists are the true shamans. That's what he said. I have to find out who it was. But yeah, that's what you're saying as well. And I agree that I can feel that.
Yeah, and I also think that, you know, the shaman, as we know it, we know them, you know, the wise woman or the wise man, the one who holds the wisdom in the tribe, the medicine person, or the one who works with the plant medicine. These are also artists and alchemists. So I'm not saying that, you know, the artist is the shaman. I'm saying, yeah, I think you understand. I just want to know a bit.
Totally. Yeah. It's so true. It's also funny. I said I don't act anymore, I don't play as an actress. I don't work as an actress anymore. But I said to somebody a few days ago that now I'm doing all this energetic work, the coaching, healing, however you want to name it. I don't know what exactly it is I'm doing. Sometimes I feel like I'm just spreading energy. Whatever it is, I feel more like an artist than when I was an actress. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I feel like I'm creating, and that's what it's about for me, and that what's fulfilling me. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you have a daily routine or practice where you what you do for yourself?
No. So the truth is that the only practice I come back to is the practice of who am I, which is all day, and it helps me live my life. It's changed everything completely. But other than that, I go in and out of things. Right now I'm training for this movie, so I'm working out every day, for example, which makes my life look completely different than it looked 2 months ago when I was in a community in Portugal.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of consistency in my life because either I'm working or I'm traveling. And so, yeah, so the thing that I come back to is just being the witness of what is happening. And this is for me the most beautiful. Yeah.
Which is all about who am I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also I mean, you know that I know the practice of training, like for sports. That's for me sometimes also a very big meditation to go swimming. That's a meditation for me. To go running, it's a meditation. Cycling as well. But sometimes I also need other practices, like just sitting in stillness and meditate. Of course, I do that as well. But I like how you said it. It's all about who am I, and all these tools we have or where we are in life at the moment can serve that. Yeah. So you told me before that you also hold space for others or give sessions, like in embodiment, or I guess also other things. Yeah, what do you do there? Or what happens, maybe what happens in these spaces?
Well, it's always different. That's the wonderful thing. What happens is transformation of sorts. And so sometimes I work with a group, sometimes I work together with another person with a group, and I also work one-on-one. And it's about, again, it's about allowing, exploring energies within ourselves and with the other, about connecting with ourselves and with the other. And it's about freeing energy, freeing the stuck energy, and recognizing, oh, all of this is me. You know? And it can be a big thing. Yeah. I had a session with someone 2 weeks ago where I did a one-on-one with a man. And I did I do a combination of Kashmiri massage, which is a tantric massage, and then also intuitive energy work. So the kind of, you know, and it is always different because I don't have a plan, because everyone is different. And what happened in his case is that he came into a physical experience of shaking, like the energy was, and he described that he felt completely fulfilled and very hungry at the same time, and he felt like in complete bliss. And what happened is that he thought that I did that because I gave him a session. And so then I explained to him, because this is what the work is about for me, is to recognize that we are all of that. And I shared with him, okay, really feel, and he was still shaking, and I said, okay, really feel this, and I really want to invite you to recognize that this is you. This has nothing to do with me. And for me, this is the beauty of this work, that we can really recognize that we are all of that. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. No, really, I love this. And I have to say it again, because that's what it's all about. It's not, I mean, it's also my work to help people to Well, I'm holding space. I'm asking maybe the right questions, but in the end, it's themselves who express. And yeah, no, I cannot say it differently like you, but this feeling of this is me, it's all me, I love that. So sometimes I have the feeling that sometimes people understand things and also, like you just described, feel the things, and then they go back to their everyday life, and it's kind of, it's not that they forget it, but maybe also don't have the courage to fully live this, what they experience. You know what I mean? So what would you tell these people?
To trust, because I really trust that once it is not something that comes in, it's not something that you get and then it goes away again, and it's not there anymore. This is what happens in my perception, is that there's an opening. And once something has opened and you felt it, it's not, you cannot forget about it. I mean, you can think you forgot about it, but then maybe, you know, you're in the hassle of your everyday life, and then all of a sudden you see the wind blowing through a tree, and then you feel that opening again. Because it's inevitable. It's gonna come back when you look at your beloved, when you see a tree, when you see the ocean, and maybe it takes 3 months, but and to take this seriously when the opening comes again, and not to be afraid, to sit in the opening. And maybe the opening, one time it looks like complete, you know, orgasmic bliss, and the other time the opening is complete sadness, but it's actually the same thing.
Oh God, yes. Oh yes, that's so beautiful. Also not to judge the, it's exactly that, it's the same thing. And not to judge the sadness or the happiness or So for you as an actress or as an artist, what are maybe I think I already asked it like that. What are the most important things for you to express in your creative work?
Truth, which doesn't exist, obviously, but the truth of the moment. This is also what I like about acting in theater, for example, is that it's real. Because there's a connection between the people that are playing together, and then there's a connection with the audience, and there is an element that doesn't allow us to hide. Because when I'm not truly connected, when I'm not really in the moment, in the now, which is also a very deep spiritual practice, this is when the ego dissolves, when we become absorbed with the moment, and the merges and time disappears, which also happens in meditation. Then this is when the truth is there. Now I forgot your question.
No, it's the answer. You answered it.
But could you repeat it just for me?
I think I also, wait, do I remember the question? It was what is the most important thing for you, for you as an actress? I think it was something like that.
It's that, because this, for me, I feel I have this passion to inspire others to be in their truth, you know, not in the truth of the mind, like I'm like this and I'm in my truth. No, to really be in every split second with, you know, the chaotic nature, you know, the feminine energy, the Shakti moving, everything is changing all the time. And to be in that, you know, this meditation of being connected to what is real right here, right now. Yeah. That is it, and for that, acting is an incredible tool for me to practice, and also a beautiful way to inspire people, I feel.
Mm-hmm. And how, because you said in theater, I can understand what you say, that yeah, it's also this being in the moment on stage and in relation to the people. How do you, I mean, I can imagine that if you're shooting something in front of the camera, there are many more people around of the team and everything. How do you get in that state of, okay, I'm with myself and I'm connected?
By actually trying to connect with everything that is around me, to be very aware of what we're creating, to feel that, because this is something magical about filming. I don't know if you agree with me, but the fact that this whole crew, all of these people, are there from the morning until the evening, sometimes from the afternoon until the depth of the night, every day, for not really so much money. And it's a fucking hard work. And we're all like, all of the energy of everyone, 40, 50 people, is going like to one thing.
Yeah.
And when I am the one in front of the camera, and I am the form that is, you know, I become part of the form that what we want to create. I feel all of the energy of everyone, and you know, this is what I feel when it comes to, this is the manifestation of what we're trying to do. And yeah, accidentally I am the vehicle that is in, you know, on the film. Mm-hmm. And so I try to take my responsibility there for being that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So beautiful. Thank you. I could ask so many more questions, I guess. It's so interesting. Yeah, but I think we will come to an end now. So maybe two last questions. One is, intuitively, what are the 3 wisdoms you want to share with our listeners today?
Yeah, trust is a word that comes. Trust. Curiosity is a big wisdom. Holds big wisdom. And yeah, openness, I guess.
Thank you. What are you grateful for today?
For you, for this, yeah, for this space where we can unpack and explore. And, you know, I also hear myself talking, and you know, I know it's not me talking, and then, you know, it's just really, yeah, it's really beautiful to have this space to feel and to explore. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm grateful for this conversation and for you as well. For me, it was a real conversation. It touched me, and I could feel everything what you said, and there was a lot of energy. Thank you for that. Yes, and I'm curious what you will create in this world, and yeah, to see more of you, to explore And so if people want to see something of you or to connect with you, where can people find you?
I guess the easiest way is through Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you will probably put in the
sure in the show notes.
Yeah.
Of course. So yes, I will definitely. Thank you so much again. And yeah, I wish you all the best for your next projects and for traveling and for everything you will be creating in this world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope we could inspire you with this conversation and you could take something for yourself out of it. I would love to hear your feedback, so if you want to share your thoughts about this episode with us, please feel free to do that. You find us on Instagram, the links of course in the show notes. I would be happy to hear or read from you. For the German-speaking audience, I will be starting my next mastermind once a year. I'm accompanying a group of actors and artists over a few months, and the next program is starting in October, which is the Limitless Artists Mastermind. And Limitless Artists, it's all about breaking out of your own limits, get yourself to the next level of your career and let something bigger unfold through you. If that sounds interesting, I'm happy to talk to you. You also find more information in the show notes. You can take part in an information call or also with me personally. So feel free to contact me to ask me everything you want to know, and I would be very happy to work with you. For now, thank you so much for listening. I wish you a wonderful day. I hope to see you in the next episode again. So much love to you.